Hey everyone, a couple weeks ago, me and some friends filmed a short film called The Remarkable Key, inspired by Wes Anderson's directing style and the old Frog and Toad storybooks. And I decided for the analysis of this one to split it into two parts. Part one being this one, everything you can hear, and part two to come out later, everything you can see. So again, I'll be going in depth on everything sound, from the Foley to the atmosphere to the dialogue.
It was like a faded gold or a silver or something.
Well, which one was it?
To mostly the music and the scoring, which I did all myself. If you're more interested in the camera side of things, the techie stuff, the nerdy, video-centric portion, that will come later. But those of you music theory nerds, anyone who's interested in playing for film, scoring for film, or anything with sound, please stay tuned, because that is what this will focus on. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Hello, and welcome to the audio breakdown, where I will be going in depth, mostly on the scoring, and showing you what I did. I'll do some playing. I've got my guitar. I've got the bassoon behind me. I'm going to play along with some things and show you what I did, how I did it, why I did it. Quick overview on everything else sound, because this is mostly going to be about the scoring. But sound-wise, every Foley or sound effect that you hear in the short film was recorded on site, with the exception of the two dog sound effects when we pick up Ziggy. His name was Ziggy. It still is Ziggy, but it was then too. We get the... I did some work in Audition, some noise reduction in Audition. Anyways, that was about it as far as sound other than the score, so I guess we'll just jump in with the score. So I had a couple of themes going. So it started with just the bassoon. So I did all of my recording in one day, starting at like 6 p.m., and I finished at 11:30 p.m. Sorry, babe. But I'm running this mic, the Aston Origin, through an Art Pro MPA, through the EL8 distressor. I think when I really play out, I'm getting 3 or 4 decibel gain reduction on the compressor. And then I've got the SSL 500 Series E EQ. The bassoon main melody, it comes derivative from Ivor the Engine. I'll play that melody for you. So I like the liltiness of it, but I came up with this. That's what I build it off of, so I start with that. So that gets us in to the first scene, where we have Rue fiddling with keys. So that's the main theme there, and that's the only time I give it all the way through. That is a duet there, so I'll isolate the parts. So start with the first bassoon here. It's what I was playing earlier. So I wrote a second part to it that goes over top. So they get a little contrapuntal there. They kind of trade off. Yeah, so just a lilty bassoon duet there to start. Set the mood. This is not a serious, scary, spooky story. This is this is Grandma's house. This is Frog and Toad. That brings us that brings us through her whole first segment of searching. Kendallin had the idea, my girlfriend, had the idea to have the last note line up with the closing of the drawer here. So I did that. And that didn't just happen to be like that. We did that on purpose. And I did record this to a metronome so that it would line up nicely with the end of that section. So that brings us to the first conversation between Kai and Rue. And to lead us into that new scene, a second motif here.
No.
And I do this a couple times to fill in space, but... kind of inquisitive theme. This is the theme of discovery. I try to set a couple of themes throughout here. And then we get to an entirely different section here that's guitar-based. So I'll switch to guitar. So, based in, let's see, I guess it's D minor. It's basically just a switching back and forth between D minor and D sharp minor. So I'll just play that. So it does like that for a while, right? It starts off really reserved. And then as it builds up, and as their search continues, because this is the underscoring for their search for the key, this is discovery. It starts to get a little weird. I remove the bar from the bottom two strings, the E and the B string. I let those just fly open. So for this chord, it sounds nice, but then when you switch back here, oh my God, spooky, or like pained or something. So that's where I bring in the bassoon with a raucous solo. Let me see if I can replay that live here. I'm going to do one attempt. If it doesn't go right, you won't even see it. You won't even see me talking to you right now. It'll be all gone. That means it went right.
The right one.
Oh no.
Yeah, so a couple little geeky bassoon tricks going on there. So I played bassoon for 15 years now. So one of the things I'm doing early on is that flutter tongue. I'm literally like rolling my tongue like a Spanish R. Yeah, you get it. Establishing some raucousness to it, I guess is the right word. And then right at the end, I holding a low D and actually overblow it, like I fade into an overblowing of it so that it plays the fifth harmonic over top, which is another little bassoony trick. And then I add a little tiny addition with the second bassoon on the last two notes. After that segment, we have a little bit of dialogue here, some back and forth. He goes, let's look in the shed. As he opens the shed, I go back to that second motif, and I ended on a half cadence, because it's like, we don't know if the key's in there, but it seems promising. She was in the shed. Let's look in the shed. So I actually broaden it to a trio at that point. So at the bottom, and then we add the second. And then we have the same motif I just showed, but ending on 1, and it's a resolution. So then we go back to the first theme here when they're sitting down, because we still don't know if it's the right key, but they're trying it, but we double it on the guitar. So the smelly chord between. It's just a transitionary chord, but I wanted it to fall sort of right on. They're realizing we didn't need a key. How ironic. And then first theme once again here. And then we hold here for the last line. And then we get a nice little resolution of, oh, the box opened, there was a stick of gum in it, and now I'm going to eat that stick of gum, and we punctuate that by revisiting the final theme once more. But that's it as far as scoring. Took me, like I said, 5-6 hours. Most of that was noodling around. I hadn't played the bassoon in over a year. This is the second time today. So, but yeah, original score done by myself. Mediocre guitarist, pretty good bassoonist. But if you disagree with both of those, let me know. With that being said, let's move on to the conclusion.
Well, guys, we did it. But more importantly, you did it. You made it through the video. You didn't check your phone the whole time, even though you had notifications. You stayed locked in. Great job. What I want you to take away from this video is that this is possible. Making a film scoring, getting into it is possible. I did this with no budget. I did it quickly and I just churned it out, but I was pretty happy with how it came out. If you're interested in hearing more about this process of making the film, please check out the future upload, the video analysis that's coming soon. And then in the meantime, you can check out the actual short film if you haven't. That's on my YouTube channel, The Remarkable Key. So thanks for watching and we'll see you soon.